Hey guys, just a little thing at the beginning of this video. I'm sorry, I'm an idiot, and I kept calling Gabriel Agreste Felix Agreste. I know that Adrien's father's name is Gabriel. It's just by the time I realized I had done that and called him Felix like 8 times, I was already mostly done with this video, and I don't really have time to re-record the whole thing, and I am really sorry. So I hope you guys can understand, every time I call Adrien's father Felix in this video, I know his name is Gabriel Agreste. My brain was just mixing up names for some reason, and I'm really sorry. I may one day redo this video and fix it once we have more information on the story later, but I hope that doesn't take away from your enjoyment of the video. Hi everyone, this is Ashi of the Final Bosses, and today we're going to take a short break from the Owl House and talk about Miraculous Ladybug. Now this doesn't mean I don't have more Owl House theories coming, I do, but I wanted to kind of take a break between and do some other content. So today we're going to be talking about Miraculous Ladybug, and we're going to touch on a very popular theory. Is Adrien Agreste really a person, or is he some kind of sentimonster? Now this theory isn't anything new to the fandom. In fact, it's been around since sentimonsters were introduced in the series. And originally I was going to make a video about debunking this theory, but the more I looked into it, the more part of me wanted it to make sense, because honestly it would explain a lot about Adrien's behavior. Because I've always enjoyed Cat Noir as a character, but I've actually never liked Adrien. I've always felt like he was sort of stale and bland, sort of like a blank surface, just the perfect kid for no apparent reason, an absolute Gary Stew. But if he was a sentimonster, this would add some merit, and I've actually found a bit more sort of evidence leading towards that. Now, am I saying this is 100% true? No, but this is definitely something to think about. Now, let's knock a couple of the things out of the way that would disprove this theory. First questions first, can a sentimonster be a person? And the answer is yes. We learned this with Sentibug, and though tragically, yes, sentimonsters can also gain sentience. Given their name, they can disobey their master. Now the next thing would be, can a sentimonster last more than, like, say a couple hours? Like, how long can a sentimonster actually live? Well, we do have the sentimonster to live for thousands of years, so I imagine they can last as long as their conduit is not destroyed. So there seems to be no set lifespan for a sentimonster. Now the real question is, can a sentimonster create a child, and why would the user create a child? Now this is the part that kind of bothers most fans and tends to be what they have trouble with. Like, some people have guessed that maybe Adrien's cousin Felix was a sentimonster, but I think it would make more sense if either of them was a sentimonster to be Adrien. Why? Because his mom's the one in the coma from using the Miraculous, so why would it be for her sister's sake? Why would she give up her life? I mean, her sister's kind of not a very nice person, and, well, Felix isn't a nice person either, so why would she create someone like Felix? Now, sentimonsters I know are created from negative emotions, but they're not always bad, like I said in the example with Sentibug. So let's be hypothetical here for a minute. Let's say Felix and his wife lost their child, right? So their child was stillborn, and her sister still had a child. She would have negative emotions because her sister got to have a child, and she did not. Say she couldn't live without that child, or say that child fell sick when she was really young. Either way, she created the sentimonster of Adrien, so that way she could have a child, and the reason that sentimonster looks just like Felix is because she based it off her sister's child. Now, this would give her motive, because that's the thing about Miraculous Ladybug. I've always wondered what was the motive for Mrs. Agreste to use the Peacock Miraculous in the first place. Like, why did she do it? She's never been openly stated to be evil like Hawkmoth, and Hawkmoth wasn't after the Cat Miraculous and the Ladybug Miraculous well until after she fell into the coma to bring her back. So there must have been some reason to use the Miraculous and went into the coma. I highly doubt it was just out of curiosity. That would be bad writing. So the loss of a child and to bring back quote-unquote her child would make sense. This also would add some of the stuff about Adrien, such as, it seems sentimonsters are immune to Cataclysm. Now, this could be that Adrien is also just immune to Cataclysm because he's Cat Noir, but when you strike a sentimonster with Cataclysm, it seems to not destroy them like it does other things. And it's the same with Adrien. It just sort of hurt him a little bit, but it didn't destroy him like it's done everything else in the series. And we know that Cataclysms are capable of killing living things. We've seen it happen. So, like, such as an example is in Cat Blanc. But why would I say that Adrien is a sentimonster? Well, let's go back to Adrien's human form, just Adrien Agreste by himself. Adrien Agreste is sort of like I said, a blank slate, a tablet with no writing. He's good at everything. He's good at fencing, he's good at school, but he's also sort of inept. He's bad at dealing with people, telling if they're lying, like such as Lila and Chloe. He has trouble learning the basic human motions. Now, I know he acts different when he's Cat Noir, but I've also always believed the Miraculous have an influence on your personality. Like, for example, when Marinette wears the Ladybug Miraculous, she's much more competent, she's much more confident, she's much more alive, and she has a lot more luck. She's not clumsy, falling all over herself like she is when she's Marinette. So when the Adrien puts on the Cat Miraculous and becomes Cat Noir, he sort of gains this cocky feline confidence about him, which sort of overrides his natural bland personality. Because again, without the bland personality, it doesn't make sense why Adrien acts the way he is if he was not some kind of blank sentimonster. Now, when I was thinking about this theory more and more in depth, I started to realize there are certain things about Adrien that kind of make the sentimonster theory stand out a little bit more, and that comes from Felix Agreste. Sometimes Adrien is the most valuable thing to Felix. Like, for example, in the episode where he stated, "Isn't he perfect? My son. The perfect creation. He's the only piece of my wife I have left." Now, that can be taken as A, he's saying that he really values his son, or B, that his son was made from his wife's last wishes and that's why she's in a coma. Now, the other one that kind of, I say, fluctuates is sometimes Adrien has no value to Felix whatsoever. There are times where he will akumatize himself, put him in danger, akumatize the people who work for him, and put Adrien openly in danger and attack him. So maybe some days Felix blames Adrien for the comatose of his wife. Now, it could also be bad writing, but I always like to give the writers the benefit of the doubt that they have reasoning behind doing stuff like this. So I'm going to go with the fact that it's that Felix doesn't know how he feels about Adrien. It would also explain why he kept Adrien locked away, because he doesn't know the effects of a sentimonster, being in actual society. He wouldn't know how they would react or how they would grow or what they would become. But that does raise one more sort of question. If Adrien is a sentimonster, how was he chosen to be a miraculous user? Well, I believe that a miraculous user can be anyone, as long as they're picked. Like, it doesn't matter if they're human or not, or if they're from where they're from or whatever. I mean, Sentibug had all the power of Ladybug's Miraculous, and she was a sentimonster. I think that a sentimonster could easily be a miraculous user. So with that, let's answer these last few questions and finish up this video. So if Adrien is a sentimonster, where is the sentimonster stored? Like, what object? I'd probably say it's in Gabriel and his wife's rings. Now, that would mean that it's possible for Felix to have one, but I'm going to assume it's the one that Gabriel still has himself. Now, if that's the case, the next question that a lot of fans would ask is, why doesn't Gabriel just use the ring to control Adrien and get him to do what he wants? Well, that probably goes against his wife's sort of dying wish. She probably wanted her son to live a normal life. So she asked Gabriel not to, use the ring in that particular way to control the boy and let him grow up naturally. But tell me what you think. Do you think this theory holds some merit? And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and share, and subscribe, obviously, if you're not subscribed, because I'd really appreciate it. And look forward to more cartoon videos. And this has been Ashia the Final Bosses, signing off.